Friends, today is Saturday, the 12th of December, and it's the feast of Our Lady of Guadalupe. I have behind me, over my right shoulder, it's a little small to see, but our stained glass window of Our Lady of Guadalupe and Juan Diego. And you know, the details of Guadalupe, the story of Guadalupe, the details are so interesting that sometimes we forget the deeper meaning of this visitation of Mary in Mexico and in the New World. The event at Tepeyac was the catalyst that led to the conversion of countless numbers of native population, the native Indian population. And as many as 9 million people of the native population were baptized within 10 years of that appearance of Mary at Tepeyac. And why the power of that visitation and all the thousands, the millions of people who were converted after that? The Mary of Guadalupe on Juan Diego's cloak was portrayed in the ancient garb of the mother of the deities whom Indians had worshipped before Christianity, that tilma of Juan Diego, which showed the beautiful image of the Virgin, which is familiar to us. And they were able, the native population, were able to see a connection, to see in Mary a connection, even a respect for their own tradition. But there was a hurdle that had to be overcome. The native population had been reduced to slavery by the conquering Spaniards. And these same Spaniards preached the gospel. Not surprisingly, the Indians confused the good news of the gospel with the bad news of domination and power that the Spaniards had brought with them. And that was a major stumbling block on the path to conversion and evangelization. But the figure of Mary embodied the crucial message of the gospel, a message of love and compassion and acceptance and hope for the oppressed, making it possible ultimately for the Indians, the native population, to grasp what Jesus himself had proclaimed, and that is the poor have the good news preached to them. For me, the power of Guadalupe and the compelling nature of Guadalupe comes from its consistency with the portrait of Mary in the Gospel of Luke. And ultimately, the truth and reality of any apparition of Mary must be consistent with the picture of Mary in the gospel itself. And we see that beautifully portrayed in the great event at Tepeyac, in Mary of Guadalupe. The Mary of Guadalupe is the Mary who proclaims the Magnificat, She is the one of lowly estate, the slave woman, the handmaid. Translated that I am the handmaid of the Lord, it's really the servant or the slave of the Lord whom God, and this slave whom God has looked upon with favor and greatly blessed. Mary's Magnificat, of course, interprets the incarnation, the Christ event, the birth of Jesus, interprets the incarnation in terms of what it means to her, to Mary, and to the church itself. God has put down the mighty and raised up the lowly, seen in the person of Mary. Put down the mighty, raised up the lowly. God has filled the hungry with good things, and the rich he has sent away empty. Mary's Magnificat, her song of praise at the Christ event, the incarnation. And so on this feast of Our Lady of Guadalupe, we commit ourselves, as Mary did, to service of our brothers and sisters, and we honor her in our service of each other. Mary of Guadalupe, who is important to us today, these, 400 years later. And her appearance at Tepeyac brought about the conversion of so many, but it continues to bring about conversion. And as I say, we honor her in our service to our brothers and sisters, even as she came to serve them. We preach the good news, as Mary did. Preach the good news of Jesus who loves us, is merciful, and especially for those who are poor. Hold that thought, and we'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow is Sunday, and it is Gaudete Sunday, the third Sunday of Advent, meaning rejoice.